Ladies and Habibis, we are going to introduction to you a rising star of South Asia. He is very well educated. He knows Islam and Christianity very well. He done what they said he can't. He is Doctor.
Alhamdulillah.
Wait a minute, what are you doing, Zakir? You come out, it's not you. Habibi, take him out. Sorry, there was some problem. He's Adam Thicker.
Hello everyone, this is your favorite Murtid. Salamul Masih, peace of Christ be with each and every one of you. I hope you guys are having fun. And welcome everyone. Your favorite Murtad is live once again. And today's topic is a very, very interesting topic. Thank you so very much for being here. God bless you all. Please share the link on each and every social media platform that you have so that many could come here and understand and learn this very important topic. This topic was also mentioned by you people. You wanted me to do this topic, and I am doing this topic. So share, and bring everyone here. That's how it works. But today, we have a very important guest with us today. We're going to talk about Islamic banking with a person who lived with the Muslims in a Islamic society where Islamic banking is very predominant. And by the way, Viger, our moderator, has sent the Twitter, which is now X, formerly known as Twitter. Please go there, retweet this, and tag your favorite Mullah Mufti, Maulana, and everybody. Very, very important. You gotta do that, man. You gotta do this with me. Help me out so that I could help you. And this is how you can help me out by sharing, retweeting, tweeting, and retweeting. And yes, all the UK people. Oh man, UK people. We need to give this to UK people. And then we come in. Let's bring our guest. Why are we waiting for? So let us invite our Hazrat Usama Dakdok. Hello, brother. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful, brother Adam. And how are you doing? And greetings to all our wonderful people who are watching us live right now in the flesh. Hello, and everybody.
Hello, brother. You are you. I like your deer behind you, man. That's pretty.
That is a special one. It was taken.
Nice.
It was taken out with one bullet.
So the rest of the deers needed more bullets.
It was three, four, depending how you do it.
Mine. Good hunting. Single bullet, deer gone. Perfect. So
Yes.
you must have enjoyed the meat of this deer. I love deer meat, but it's
Hey,
very.
I promise you. I promise you. Um,
You will
someday,
send me the deer meat someday.
someday, I'm
Perfect.
gonna send you a deer meat. I mean, we have this. It's called FedEx. They can ship it anywhere around the world, frozen, nice, sweet to be eaten. All right. So no worry about it.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
That is awesome, brother. Brother, I have a question for you before we go into our subject.
Yep.
Can you tell me the verses from the Quran which talks about Islamic economy system?
Excuse me. What?
The Islamic economy system, brother.
No. The verse is where?
From the Quran, Hazrat Quran al-Kareem, al-glorious Quran,
That
which
one?
Muslims call Muqaddas Quran. By the way, it's not Muqaddas, but anyhow, yes, that Quran, that.
If there is one, I never saw it. Maybe I misunderstood. I misunderstood my Arabic. Therefore, I could. There's not one here word in English about economy. Period. If you hey, how about that? For every one time you mentioned to me the word economy in that book here, I'll give you $1,000. If not, you give me $1. I'll be rich.
So, oh my God. So you're telling me that there is not a single word in the Quran which says Islamic economy?
Well, how about if you search it? You're sitting on a computer. I mean, you're a very smart guy with technology. You know better about computers than I. And search online. Why don't you search and look for economy in the Quran? And you
Oh,
find all the verses which does not exist. Go ahead.
good, 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 good. Let's search. And it says there are. Let me just show it to everyone. Like you asked a very good. The brother asked a very good question.
Yeah, mashallah, mashallah. You know, you're a good challenger, man.
So brother asked a very good question. But
Yeah,
there we go. Brother, we have some verses.
really.
Yeah. So let's see where the economy is. I said economy. So where is economy? It doesn't even say economy. Why did he actually
This
showed me
one
a
is
verse?
about olives and palm tree.
Yeah. So
Hey,
so
hey,
it shows me. So
think about it. Think about it. In Muhammad days, they used to sell date, and they used to, sell date and camel. You don't know? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they were selling in Muhammad days in Mecca. So there must be some
brother, check
economy.
this out. Check this out. Check this out. It says 30 result found, and you like none of these results have economy in it. Like none of these words have economy in it. None of
Eh,
them, because the verse which has economy in it should be black, like bold black, and it
Hey, but
shows
you
the
see, no, no, no.
results.
You're lying. You're on page one. You need to go to page two.
Yeah, I'm going to page two.
Oh, no, no, no. I
Where's
mean
the
page three. Page three.
Okay, let's scroll slowly and go to page three. Let's go to page three. Okay,
No, 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 no.
economy.
I meant page four.
Brother, there is no page four. There is no page four.
It's just you infidel open the wrong site. That's not the right site. You open your own site. Did you make that site last night?
So, so I searched the word economy. It showed me 3 pages of result, each page having 10 verses, and none of them has the word economy in it. Then why the hell is he showing it to me?
You know what? I think the reason is because your computer is made by the infidels. If you got a
Ah,
computer made from in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, you'll find all what you need about economy. It's all over it. Trust me. You see, listen, listen. The Quran is the perfect word of Allah. It is written for
ah,
all the time, for all the people. Every need is there. So if you talk about economy, it must be there. I mean, how did you know Muhammad is a true prophet unless he talk about economy? He is a true prophet. He talked about economy. It's just you infidels, especially people like you, Murtad. Man, the hellfire is waiting on you. That is
ah.
why. That's why people like you will never see a day out of hell. You lie
Hmm.
and you took the truth out of the word of Allah about economy. Let me look in my computer. It's made in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, check your Saudi Arabia computer. And in the meantime, the
MashaAllah.
world is talking about
MashaAllah.
Islamic
Oh,
banking.
here it is. Liar. There is economy in the Quran.
Oh, where?
Uh, uh,
Chapter
uh,
number 125, verse
uh,
number 40.
I know it's just because I'm talking to you, it disappeared. It used to be on the computer, but because of you,
Ah, Allah took the words away. Allah took the words away. MashaAllah,
yeah,
MashaAllah,
it's
MashaAllah.
a sad. You know what? Here's the truth, Adam. Before we even get into this, Muslims are trying to create for the Quran and for the saying of Muhammad, the Sunnah of Muhammad, everything to make Islam fit in the 21st century. When in reality, Islam could not fit in the 7th century or the 8th century after Muhammad died. It fit in Muhammad days perfectly because no one could argue with Muhammad, nobody could debate Muhammad, no one could question Muhammad. But after Muhammad died, remember that with the day Muhammad died, Muslims left Islam. That's why we have the war of apostasy. And if it was
Absolutely.
not for the war of apostasy, there would not have been Muslim today in the world, or even a few years after Muhammad died.
Very
So,
well stated fact. Very well stated fact. But brother, check this out.
yeah,
The world is teaching the West
yeah.
Islamic banking, Islamic currency, Islamic financing, money Muslim treasury business, economic bill, commerce and bill, mudarba, profit sharing,
Hmm,
Sharia Islamic law, Bia inha, two-part sale,
hmm.
cash Islamic note, takaful, mutul. assistance. So imagine there are so many
That's
things.
exactly what I'm telling you. Okay, let's search for any of these words in the Quran or in the Hadith. I
Nope.
promise you will never find none of these words. They made them up.
So
They're trying to create for Islam for the West for the 21st century. That's exactly what they're doing.
so you are telling me there is no banking system in Islam?
Yes, yes, there is, but have nothing to do with Islam.
Okay, perfect. So there is no banking system according to Quran
Nope,
or the Sunnah of Muhammad. There
nope.
is no Islamic financing according to Quran and the Sunnah of Muhammad. There
You
is
scared
no
Adam. The way you talk about this thing is you scares the daylight out of the dogs in that house. Can you hear the dogs?
oh, I can hear the dogs. A
You
few
scared
dogs are
that?
barking.
Can you change the subject, man?
Okay, I'm changing the subject. So now let's go to Sharia. So
All right.
Sharia Islamia talks about one single verse where everything is based on. So when
Sure.
you go to Sharia Islamia and you go to the place where it says what is it? Trading. All right. There's no economics over there as well,
Yeah.
but there's a book of trade. The book of trade is based on one single verse, and then you have almost 100 pages which goes about just this verse and some verses, some statements of Muhammad,
Yeah.
left, right, and center, or some actions of
You,
Muhammad, which has
you got
nothing to
the
do with
most.
Islam,
You got the
Islamic
most.
banking.
You got the most important verse 275 because obviously you can read the word riba in the Quran one, two, three, four, 5 times in a smaller version of that verse. So if we actually concentrate on 275, that'll be good enough to get the main idea, the major idea. Which, by the way, if we study that verse, brother Adam, and dig deep in it, you'll find that Muhammad was so ignorant of what he used to do for a good 15 years or so before he became a prophet. He does
Wow.
not know jack about life. I like the word jack. I learned it from you. Yeah. So not the jack of Egypt, the jack of you, your place. Anyway, so seriously, let's read that verse. Let us spend a few minutes in it to find out
All
how
right.
smart was Muhammad and how smart are the Muslims who believe in Muhammad's miracle. The only miracle is what we're reading right now, the Quran itself. Go ahead, brother.
So this verse has two segments. According to Sharia, there are two things mentioned in this verse. You
Yeah,
guys, people in the live chat are going to tell me what are two important words. All right, Osama, you don't answer. Okay, let them answer.
I'll be quiet.
Those who consume interest, riba, cannot stand except as one stands who is being beaten by the Satan into insanity. That is because they say trade is just like interest, but Allah has permitted trade and has forbidden interest. So whoever has received an admonition from his Lord and desist may have what is past, and his affair rests with Allah. But whoever returns the things that he took as interest, those are the companions of the fire. They will abide eternally therein. So, guys, tell me, what are the two key words in this verse? Anybody? There are almost 50 people watching. Come on, guys, share it as much as you can. And tell me the two words, two important words in this verse on which the whole 120 pages of Sharia is mentioned. Give me the two words. Come on, guys. I know you guys are 15, 20 minutes, 20 seconds behind because of StreamYard, but two words. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, guys. I am waiting. Let's see who is here. Okay, Wiser got one. No interest. Perfect. I'll just say the word interest. So one is riba, and the second is trade. Perfect prayer. So two words. You can do trade, that is sale and purchase, but you cannot do interest. Brother Osama, what do you have to say now?
So here's the deal. As you know, everything is written in the Quran. There is another source for it. Muhammad got it from somewhere else. So if you want to talk about the word riba, guess what? We have it in the Bible. As a matter of fact, it's all over the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Bible was talking about riba and how God in the Old Testament forbade the riba, it's not talking about making interest It's about your neighbor, your beloved Jewish brother from the family of God. He needed something from you. He needed to borrow something from you. So what happened is, somebody came to me in the middle of the night, and I need some food, and I need some bread, and I come knock at your door. Brother Adam, yes, can you please give me some bread? I got a friend just came from traveling, and I want to feed him, cousin, whatever. Can you please give me 2 pieces of bread? Sure, brother Usama. Here, 2 pieces of bread. So I took the bread from you. Well, guess what? In the morning, I'm returning that 2 pieces of bread to you because my wife cooked some wonderful bread, hot one. Oh, no, no, no. I need 3. Why? Because I have to make interest. That is what is forbidden. That salesman, Muhammad, the great salesman who's used to work for the richest woman, as Muslims claim, and he was doing buying and business, he does not know the simple facts about when I take money from you so I can use it to make money, I don't return it the same amount. I'm making profit out of it. I'm getting rich from it. And I get, so if I borrow from you $10,000 and at the end of the year I give it to you $10,000, what a wonderful way to live. Does this make any sense? When the Bible forbid riba, it was about people take advantage of people they needed. They have special need for a specific time, short time. Not about me going to a bank right now and borrow $1 million and give it back to them at the end of the year, $1 million. Man, find me that Muslim bank and I will go and borrow from as much money as I can borrow. And I promise you, in the end of the year or the 5 year, 10 year, I'll give you the same amount of money which I borrow. By nature, Adam, by nature, economy, money, talking about economy, money value go down by nature. The things I used to buy 10 years ago for $10 today, okay, I used to buy a good meal at Burger King or McDonald's for $3 30 years ago. Now I cannot buy 2 pieces of bread for $3. So if I borrow money and the value of your money is going down, 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 I'm going to give it back to you. Would I give it to you the same? Or I give it what's the value of that money at the time? Even if you are my cousin, you are my best friend, why do I hurt you by taking money from you and give it to you in much less than it used to be? See, you see the idea here? So Muhammad copies the idea about God forbid riba in the Old Testament, and he put in the Quran, and he's telling us in the same verse. Let me go back again. Here's the verse. Buying.
So,
Go ahead, brother.
so let me add to this. So now what you are saying is, and I'll make it short because you said it in a very long statement. What you're saying is that God of the Bible said, don't do riba, so that when people are doing it to just make money out of nothing and disturb the poor people into slavery, versus the person who wants the money to make profit out of it, and he's taking it for a longer time period, which will actually cause an depreciation of the money, and which will be a huge thing, obviously, because the money is depreciating in a longer time period and he is making money out of it, and he is making his living out of it, not just living, a lavish living. So he should pay him with something,
Sure.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
But then again, this is what Muslim comes in and say, oh, if you say this, then it is profit sharing. We allow profit sharing. So what will you say then?
Repeat the statement again.
Allowed profit sharing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But
Uh,
like the problem here is that if a person loses all the business, what will he do? Will he still pay him the money? Was
well,
that not the contract?
it's just there's a huge difference between riba and when you make a profit. They're two separate things. Um, in his interpretation, William Marsh, to what is written in Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 37. I don't know. Do you have access to your Bible, Brother Adam?
Yeah, I do. I do. I can go there. What do you want me to show?
Let's go to chapter 25, verses 37.
Chapter 25 of what?
Leviticus, the book of Lawiyin. Leviticus chapter 25
Lev. Leviticus 25.
and verses. Let's read, I believe, verses 36 and 37. That'll be good. We'll read them all together because they're tied to each other.
Okay. 36. Do not take.
But just start from 35 to make it a little
Okay.
bit more.
Now, if a brother of yours become poor in his means with regards to your flatter that you are to sustain him like a sojourner or a foreigner residing, that he may live with you. Do not take unserious interest from him, that is riba, but fear your God that you, your brother, may live with you. You shall not give him your silver at interest, nor your food for gain.
You
I
see
am
that?
Yahweh.
Well,
Yep.
so that is what the Bible is talking about. That's what I was trying to share with you a little bit earlier. This is your brother, your good Jewish brother who lived next to you, and he is struggling financially. He became poor. He did not get the harvest from the earth. He got sick, could not work. Come on, whatever excuse, whatever reason why he's poor. Now you're gonna bring him to your house and then take advantage of him? No. That is what we say. Riba is forbidden. Interest is forbidden in the Bible. But Muhammad does not understand that in the Quran. When he rejected riba in the Quran, he did not know jack about what the Bible is talking about. He just got the idea from the Bible and put in his Quran. And the Muslim world believes that, wow, in Islam is different. In Islam is better. In Islam is great. You want to have interest-free credit card? Come to Islam. You want to have interest-free loan to buy a house and start a business? Come to Islam. And they use this with deception to deceive people, to make them believe that Islam is so beautiful and it is so gracious and it's so wonderful that we don't take riba, we don't take because it's forbidden. When in reality, no such a thing does exist. You
All
follow me?
right.
I'm losing you.
I am following you. I'm following, and I hope the people are following you. So let's go and listen from your favorite friend. Tell me if you remember him.
My favorite friend?
Sheikh Hamza Yusuf.
You talk about economy?
I got him specially for you.
Oh, mashallah. This is my very, he's my special friend, not just my favorite. He's my favorite special friend. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna play him for a very short time, but this is a 10 minutes video. I'm gonna share it to everyone so
Sure.
they can listen to the whole 10 minutes, and you will know that he will not talk about a single word about Islamic economy, not a single word.
Sure.
Okay, he won't say a single word about Islamic economy, but he'll gonna bash about certain things. So let's listen, watch.
Economic system in relation to the Western economic system or this modern system of capitalism, you can't even compare the two. There's no comparison. Our
So capitalism, they're comparing it with the modern capitalism. So you need to understand what a modern capitalism is. If you do not know that, I'm going to explain just a little bit, just a little later. Okay, just learn that they are not talking about a system. They're talking about a modern capitalism. And in the modern capitalism, it's all about fractional reserved system. This is really, really bad. And that's why everyone is dying. But it's a separate thing for a separate topic. And I'll share just a little bit later. Check this out.
system is based on real wealth, a bimetal economy in which money actually has intrinsic value. People say gold doesn't have intrinsic value. Then why do people kill for it? And the only reason they kill for paper dollars that don't have intrinsic value is because they think that it has intrinsic value. But all you have to do is put a fire to it and you'll see how valuable it is.
So, brother, so basically, gold has intrinsic value. Paper does not have intrinsic value. And the only way to see whether paper has intrinsic value or not is that you put it to fire. How
And
does
you
that
turn.
make sense? So then if you are going to say gold has intrinsic value, who created the intrinsic value of the gold? Because if you go all the way back to the early times when Romans first started using gold
Mhm.
as a currency coins, and I'm talking about currency coins, that's the Romans and Greeks who started it.
Actually,
So
it used to be silver before that.
Greeks started gold
Oh,
coins. No, I'm not talking about trading in gold or trading in silver. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about coin. When the coins were first invented, somewhere around 600 BCE, and they created a coin for currency. That coin of gold coin
It was made of
had
gold.
an intrinsic value which
Mhm,
is constantly increasing.
mhm.
It is constantly increasing. So
Sure.
if you say that the modern capital system is making people poor, then whether it is modern or old, it's the same thing, because gold is constantly increasing in value as well.
Sure.
And it is still just a rock. It is still a metal rock, or whatever you may like to call it.
Yeah.
It's coming out of the earth. It's a metal, but kind of a rock. You understand what it is. You classified it as a metal. It's a rock coming out of the earth,
Yeah.
right? And you gave it some intrinsic value. Who gave this value to to this rock? Us, the humans.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We did it.
Yeah.
You put fire to gold, it is, because gold's indestructible. Gold doesn't corrode. Silver doesn't corrode. They don't oxidize. The gold coins that were minted by Caesar, you can go down to a store, you probably here in Stanford, and buy one of them if you have enough money, because it's still around. This
So
whole Dajjalic system,
the capitalism is the Jalic system, but the gold isn't the Jalic system. Like so gold isn't the Jalic system, but you know, it's just stupidity.
And
It
the
is.
topic, and let me make sure that we're watching the right video here. Islamic economic system versus capitalism.
Yes, this is the video we are talking.
I just want to make sure that we have the right type.
Islamic economy system versus capitalism. Where does the gold become an Islamic system, brother? Economic system.
Not in the Quran. As a matter of fact, I believe Muhammad used dirham in the Quran before it was created of hundreds of years.
Yes, yes,
No, no,
yes.
no, some people think I'm joking. Listen, Adam. When you
Hey,
go to
it's not just Muhammad. Muhammad used dirham
yeah,
to buy Yusuf.
exactly in Egypt. So
1600 BCE,
and
when
dirham was not created until Muhammad died, 80 years after Muhammad died. So I don't
yes,
know how much economy can fit with Allah's word in the Quran and Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam, to listen to that wonderful scholar here. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
absolutely, brother. So check this out. He's gonna talk about
fooling people into thinking that worthless paper has any intrinsic value. Fractional reserve banking. Abraham Lincoln, when
fractional reserve banking. My friends, what does fractional reserve banking has to do anything with Islam? Okay, once again, to all
Man,
the people who are
does
listening to me,
Adam, what Abraham Lincoln have to do with Islam?
nothing.
Okay, I just heard them say Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln. What is Abraham Lincoln did? He said something.
when he needed to fund the war, he wanted to borrow money. So he asked the bankers, and they told him, well, it's going to be on this interest rate. So he said, to hell with it. In the Constitution, we can print money. So he printed up greenbacks. That's how he paid for the war. They were.
So he is going back to the printing of the money, which is going to cause what? A hidden tax on the normal people, because if you print more money than the gold that you have at the time of Abraham Lincoln, you had gold reserve based on what you can actually create money. And early times when the Western countries did an alliance with each other. So this is history, guys, because this guy is babbling BS right now. So back in those days, people aligned together and they said, if I'm trading something from UK to America or UK to Canada or UK to Australia, they had to carry boxes of gold bricks. Now that is really, really difficult to carry. It adds weight.
And dangerous, not just difficult, and dangerous.
And dangerous because people know that they are carrying gold, right?
Sure. They're going to be robbed and stolen. Yeah, sure.
So they actually said, okay, America, you are way far out on a side. Create a gold vault and give us a paper contract of the gold vault. So back in the early days, United States dollar says this money can be exchanged for this much of a gold.
Mhm.
It was a gold certificate. US dollar back in those days was gold certificate.
Sure.
So now what is happening is you can put some piece of paper in your pocket and you can travel, and that piece of paper could be $1 million.
Worse,
In early
whatever
days, you had
it sure
$100,000 notes,
it
bills at
it
that time
would
to transport.
exact. It would be worse whatever's the agreement between the two people in the contract of dealing with business.
Exactly, exactly.
I
So
mean,
they were
I
like,
mean, think about it. Think about it. Oh, no, here you go. Here you go. I'm gonna show you in my bucket here. I got $1. I got a $5. I got a $20. I got a $50. You know what is the difference between $1 and 50? Here you go. Watch this. That's $1. That's a
okay,
50.
let me show your screen first. Hold on. Let
All
me
right.
show your screen. Uh, okay, not this one. This one.
Okay.
All right.
Here's a
There
dollar,
you go.
and here is a 50.
Hmm.
Which one is bigger? Let's put them on top of each other. They're
They
actually
are the same.
is this the same size, Adam?
Yep.
But we agree that this is worth 50 between me and the people I do business with, and that's worth $1. As a matter of fact, $100 is the same size too. Go ahead, bro.
Exactly. Exactly. So back in those days, the money, US dollar, was backed up by gold. So what happened is, thanks to a few people, including Abraham Lincoln and all, and there were others in the past as well. Some of the countries stated that you are printing more money than the gold in your reserve, and they wanted the gold back.
Sure,
They're saying, okay, now I have this much of your US dollars. Take this, give me the equivalent amount of gold back.
sure,
Now that created a huge problem. US never wanted to return the gold. They had gold reserve. They didn't want it to send back the gold. It created a rift. A long story history. Go search on it. So now the problem is all of this has nothing to do with Islam.
sure,
So he is talking about that gold standard going into currency notes. By the way, at that particular time, dollar was still backed up by gold.
sure.
1970s, somewhere around 72 or 74 or 76, I forgot which one. I will have to search on it. That is the time when they removed the gold standard from the currency of United States. It's let me see.
And that's
Hold on, let me Google.
that's when they change it
When
to oil, Adam.
removed gold from US
Currency.
currency.
Hmm.
Hold on. Let me Google it. It's 1971, guys. Thank you.
All right.
In 1971, they removed the gold standard from the US dollar. So before that, US currency was backed up by gold and the country was working in gold. So then what happened is that the US currency was getting the gold out. People were not trading in US currency. So what did they do? They worked with Saudi Arabia. They said the new gold is oil. Everybody needs oil in future.
Sure.
Because everybody needs oil in future, they did a contract with Saudi government and a lot of people around Saudi government, and they create a contract that everyone who wants to trade in oil, like any country who wants oil,
Yeah.
they first have to buy US currency, and then they have to trade oil in US currency. Why was Iraq destroyed? Why? Because Iraq said, what? I will not work in US currency for trading of my oil. And Iraq had a lot of oil. There was no weapon of mass destruction. The whole thing behind was that they wanted the US currency to be backed up by oil. So everybody who wants to buy oil, they first have to buy US currency, which means US currency will never go down.
Sure. Keep it in the right volume, which the American people looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, because they, for the good of the American people, they wanted the currency to be stable. And how can you stabilize a currency that if it is backed up with so much of a trading thing,
Yeah.
that, like oil is traded around the globe,
Sure.
everybody needs oil. And if everybody needs oil and they first have to buy gold, to exchange for oil, the US dollar can never go down.
Sure.
And that's how they did it. And this is all economy of the world, and it has nothing to do with Islam. And capitalism and a fractional reserve system, I will talk about that later. But let's listen what else he has to say.
Or non-interest greenbacks that were printed by the US government. Then why today are we borrowing money from a private bank and paying them interest? And the interest now represents 25% of the national debt because the bankers run the situation.
This is a very old video. Now the interest represents over 100%, even more. Usama, the current US, is it not in a deficit to pay interest right now?
I believe so.
US is in deficit right now, not 24%. US interest chart. Hold on, let me see. So they right now US is in a deficit for that, and this deficit is more than $1 trillion, if I'm not mistaken. So they are in deficit. Last time when I checked. Yes, you wanted to say something before I continue?
No, we're good. We're good. I'm in agreement with you so far. Yes, sir.
So it has nothing to do with Islam or anything else in the world. The world was pretty good until the 17th, 18th century. Nothing to do with it. The world evolved, things changed, and people went into different way. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. I got it. Okay, this is the US debt clock. Let me show it and I'll go back to this video. This is the US debt clock. So right now the national debt is 35 trillion. Debt per citizen is 106. Debt per taxpayer is 272. And US budget deficit is 2 trillion. So right now US debt deficit is 2 trillion. So it's not 25% of the US economy right now. It's more. It's more than 100%. So now it's 122%.
Yeah.
Debt to GDP ratio is 122%. So basically, US is getting 35.9, so 36 trillion debt. So US is recovering 34 trillion in taxes, and they have to pay. They are in deficit of 2 trillion of the debt. And that's what it is. It's crazy how the US debt clock is at this moment. And this is not just US. Japan right now is at 140%. So if I go to time machine and go forward to maybe, where should I go? If I go forward to 2028, let's see. US will be 156.73%. Yeah.
It's a hopeless situation, Adam. It's like
because
you get sick in your stomach. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, this is what it is. It's the world economy. But anyhow, right now the money is debt. Right now the money is debt. But this is a separate thing, separate economy class that I'll do. Right now, just understand this guy is talking way far back behind the
that were printed by the US government. Then why today are we borrowing money from a private bank and paying them interest? And the interest now represents 25% of the national debt because the
it doesn't. It's more than that now.
Bankers run the situation. They wrote the laws.
Bankers does not run the situation. You silly.
But you know what? Here's the answer. Maybe we need to practice Sharia, Islamic law in America, so we don't have that problem.
Yeah. So banker, once again, the banker does not run this. Bankers are reliant on Feds, and Fed is reliant on Janet. Okay. And Janet is printing T-bonds and T-bills. Okay, not T-bonds, T-bills. Janet is printing T-bills. Bankers has to follow the Fed rate, which the Fed gives. And when the Feds give a rate, they have to add their percentage on top of it.
Sure.
This is what APR and APY comes into play. So if we translate it into, let's say, Pakistan economy. All right, because I'm from Pakistan. You guys know that. So Pakistan has State Bank, right? So State Bank is taking loans from different part of the world. If State Bank is taking loan at a 2% interest rate, the State Bank will say to its banks in the country, okay, I'm going to give you loan on a 3% interest, because 1% will be kept for the State Bank to earn.
Sure.
And then the banks will take a 3% and they will say to Usama Dakdok,
Fine.
myself, and everybody else, hey, I'm going to give you the loan on 5%, because
Sure.
the banks has to take a couple of percent as well. It is
Sure.
just like you go to a wholesaler, it will sell you things cheap but massive. Come back down to a big shop, it will sell you cheap things a little more expensive. Come down to the retail shop and it will sell you things
Which
more
and what you
expensive.
say now? You're proving to me that Quran chapter 2, verse 275, when he compared interest to selling and buying, the Quran is wrong. It is the same. Go to Quran chapter 2, verse 275. Once again. Let's read it.
All right, let's go there.
Muhammad
Let's go
said,
there.
interest is not like selling. I'm sorry, Muhammad, you did wrong. Interest is selling.
Trading, selling, whatever you like to say. Yes.
Yeah. What is what do you have
There you
here?
go. It's here on front of you.
Trade is like interest. No. That's how he put it in English?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Give me the Arabic, brother. Go up a little bit.
All right.
A
Going
little
up.
bit.
Misl riba. There you go.
إنما
Innama al
البيع
bay'u
مثل
misl
الربا.
ribu.
Yeah. إنما surely the selling is like the riba. Okay. But he's not saying it as a true statement. He's saying they're not.
Yeah. This is the people saying. Kalu. People are saying
People are
that
saying that the selling
that
is like the interest.
riba.
Okay, it's like riba. And that's true. That's true. Why? Because if I will take your money and I'm going to use it to buy goods and I make profit from my goods, 15, 20%, why when I give you the money back, I don't pay you interest on your money?
Absolutely. So
And he,
now,
yeah,
yeah.
and he said that selling is lawful, but riba is forbidden. Excuse me. You don't know jack about economy. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon you. And so is your scholars, and so is the Muslims who believe in that verse.
All right. Let's check this out.
Yeah.
They wrote the laws.
By the way, people are smiling and they are saying, mashallah. Imagine they have the people listening to this idiot are
As
actually idiots as well. They have no idea what he's saying.
he's like a scholar, man.
He said every single thing about capitalism incorrectly. And he haven't even touched Islam.
And people don't know this because they're no longer educated.
Because you don't know it and you no longer is educated, you silly on this subject.
And if you want to know why it's getting so bad out there, it's a very plain and simple. Because we have ignorant people. We have an ignorant population.
Like you.
And when you have ignorant populations, then you need
more
and more
talking about himself and his audience?
Yes. Exactly.
We're good. Okay.
and measures for social control. And this is the history of the world. You just read about it in your history books. And you
yes, I agree with this last part. This is the history of the world. People are ignorant and the rich are making money out of the ignorance, just like this idiot. And he has no idea what he's saying. Muhammad did the same thing, but in a different manner. And I'll show you how Mohammedans are doing it.
You'll see the same tactics are used to control ignorant people. Educated people are the dangerous ones. It's not ignorant people. You can control ignorant people. Seriously, they're not hard to control. Bread and circus is one way. That's the old-fashioned way. Now it's MTV and McDonald's. That's just a modern version of Pan at Circus.
Jesus said, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Very beautiful verse. It is beautiful. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. You know, you need to understand this very important thing. This guy is going to go on for another 8-9 minutes talking shit about capitalism. And dude, I agree. Capitalism is bad. It's really bad. The newer version, modern capitalism of the fractional banking is really bad. Check this out.
If you want to talk about wealth moving up.
Wealth moving up. This is talking about the elites are having more wealth than the normal people. And he's going to talk about all of these things. And he will not say a single word about Islamic economy. Not a single word, brother.
Yeah.
Not a single word. Why?
So if he explained to us there's a problem with the economy according to capitalism, what was his solution? What was his answer from Sharia point of view, from Islamic economic point of view?
Zero, brother. I'll talk about zero about Islamic system. None.
So why he's doing that teaching? What is the purpose?
Uh, to bash and say Islamic system is good, but what is Islamic system? Nobody
Back their
knows.
communities. We have to make our own clothes, stop buying clothes that were made in sweatshops.
He was talking about, now he's talking about barter system, which obviously right now cannot work.
At the disintegration of the family, because if you take the
The families are. He does not talk about Islamic economy, brother. All right. So I'm gonna skip this. I'm gonna share the video for everyone who does not believe in me and they want to hear it. Tell me if you find X second, X minute where he says about it. But for now, I'll go to another one. Another video. Very important, very cartoonic video, very nice use of stuff. And he's talking about bad about capitalism as well. I moved it to what, 2 minute, 3 minute mark approximately. And it's also an 8 minute video. But check what he's going to refer to. If you have studied history, I've studied history. I've studied the history from the First World War, not behind. And I've studied the economics from the first, basically from the Second World War. But check what he's going to talk about.
Combination of capitalism played an important role in causing a chain of economic crises happening at rather predictable intervals.
Okay.
As an
Rather
example,
predictable intervals.
the economic crisis in 1873, and the one that happened in 1893, which affected the USA, and the Great Depression of 1930, which extended to Europe. And
that's the Great Depression. Everybody knows that. I don't know about these two. Forget that.
there was another one in 1958, and then the one of 1989, and the latest one happening in 2008.
And now he's going to talk about the 2008-2009 one. And he's going to tell us that Islamic system is good. I'll explain why it is.
But what exactly happened in the latest economic crisis? Well, it all started like this. People who got mortgages to buy houses would normally pay the bank back. But then to make more money, banks had another idea. They took all these mortgages and put them in a box called MBS, or mortgage-based securities, and sold it to investors.
And you know, back in those days, mortgage-based securities were not backed up by another system. And those were private mortgage-based securities. And it was not backed up. That created a big issue. The world, the humans fixed that issue. But just check this out.
For a good fee. Investors started making millions and they liked the idea, so they wanted more. So the banks started pushing realtors to look for more homeowners, even if they had questionable credit, which meant that the banks started giving subprime mortgages and loans for 100% or more of the value of the new homes. Investors even took loans from the bank to buy more MBS boxes to make more money, and everyone was making millions. But then, and inevitably, many of these homeowners stopped paying back. Investors starting repossessing so many of these houses, which led to cheaper houses. So even the people who were still able to pay back their mortgages found themselves paying too much for houses that have become so cheap now. So they started selling their houses or just stopped paying their mortgages, which led to the point that banks and investors turned millions or billions of dollars into houses that are not really that much worth. Investors lost billions, and now they're in debt. Banks lost their investments too, which means that businesses will suffer. When this happens, people lose their jobs, which means more and more people will not be able to pay back their debts, making the problem even bigger, leading to crisis.
All right. This is how the crisis happened. This is Islamic financing system versus capitalism. All right. What is he saying? Let me give you some brief example. What happened is,
what he said, what he's saying here is true, but I don't know where he's going with that.
Yeah. That's why I paused it at the right time. All right.
Yeah.
I paused it. To the people who doesn't know about this, it's very simple. People bought houses of $100,000, right? People are buying more and more houses. When there is a lot of demand to buy, supply is less, prices increase. That's how it is.
Adam, I lived that myself. I
know,
bought
brother.
my home.
Brother,
and
I'm
some of
talking
my
to
friends,
all our viewers. I'm
yeah,
talking to the viewers, not
yeah,
to
but
you.
some of the people bought 4 or 5 homes which they cannot afford to buy one house. Go ahead.
Exactly, exactly. So people started buying more and more. House prices went up. Mortgage-based securities were sold to rich people, and rich people were making money, minting money out of the interest rate, which
Sure.
is all good. Now, the banks started selling people who does not have the money to buy, capacity to buy. A mortgage should be at max 40% of your total take home salary if you are living in it. If you are not living in it, it has to be even less than that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of rules around it.
Yeah.
The banks stopped doing these checks and balances because there were investors behind the banks who were saying, okay, I'm going to buy this mortgage, I'm going to buy the mortgage, give me a mortgage, give me a mortgage, so that he could make money, and he had money to
Yeah.
give. Now crisis start to happen. How? People were not paying. These people, these investors started to repossess. There's a word called repo. Repossess came into being, and they started to repossess the homes.
Sure.
Now, when they're repossessing the homes and not many people are buying, and the buying power, and there's a lot of flood of people selling their homes because they cannot pay
Makes a payment.
monthly
Makes a payment.
billing or monthly payment to the banks, they started to sell. Now the selling is more and buying is less. So the person who bought the house at the peak of housing bubble,
Now the house
which
is
the
about
house was like, let's say the house was $100,000 house, and inflationary, the house should be around 130, 150 by that time, was being sold at 400,000.
sure.
Now it went down.
Sure.
At least 50 to 70% reduction in the house prices happened, and the
Mhm.
prices went to 130, 120, which
Yeah.
was a normal price, which should be a normal price of that house at that time, but people had bought it at 400,000,
Sure.
300,000, 350,000. So they were in a reverse capital, they were in reverse of the price of the house, they were under debt. So
Sure.
even when they would sell, they could not sell at that price. And now the great economic crisis happened in 2008 in US
2009.
Canada.
Yeah.
Now what is going to happen? How does Islam fix it? Let's listen to this guy, and then I will tell you what happened in California.
Yeah.
How do I know this? One of my friend got into this Islamic banking system in California, and he is crying, and he cried, and he cried, and he cried, and he got out of it after 6 years. I'll show you why. Check this out.
But were there any survivors? Well, yes. As a matter of fact, the Islamic banks around the world made the crisis less severe than it actually is by not losing their value as much as other banks. Many of them grew their assets, and they were even selling incredibly more Islamic bonds during the period of 2008 to 2013. So now you might think,
So he's saying, like, listen to this guy. They sold more bonds from 2008 to 2013. So basically, Islamic banking started in 2005 in the California to begin with. Number one, the real one. And they were looking at the house prices increases. So nobody was doing that. But when the prices slumped in 2007, 2008, then people started to buy through this banking. Why? I will tell you why. Wait. So now imagine they came in the slum. Okay.
why or how did this happen? And the answer to this question is two words:
2 words.
fairness and
And
justice.
justice. How?
It must
Fairness,
be
These two
justice. How?
values form the structure.
Wait. Some of it. I know. You have to say fairness and justice. Remember these 2 words. I'm going to show you fairness and justice of Islamic system. How? Check it out.
Structure of the whole Islamic financial system. And
Okay.
to make this happen, God prohibited a number of things and allowed
One.
other things to prevent this from happening.
How?
So, the number of things that are not allowed are usury, which is
Interest.
lending money with interest, trading in uncertainty, which is
Hmm.
buying and selling things that you don't really know what it contains, like
Okay.
buying an MBS box.
Okay.
And that is why gambling is also not allowed.
Yeah.
Monopoly.
Forget
And
that.
trading in unusable assets or goods. So trading in
Monopoly,
things you
Shinopoly.
don't own.
Forget that. That's
Or
nothing to
trading
do with
in
housing.
money, alcohol,
Yeah.
or pornography.
Come.
And on the flip side, there are other things that are
Come.
allowed. Like both parties have to accept and be happy with the deal. financial partnership. So
Okay,
both
number
the
one,
money
financial partnership. One word. Remember that.
lender and borrower share profits and
Share profit and loss.
losses.
Share profit and loss.
Inheritance, which is meant to fragment
Forget inheritance. The rest of the stuff has nothing to do with it. But
one's
I'll
wealth
play it so
among
that
his
people will
family
not
member,
say that I am
preventing accumulation of
skipping.
wealth for a single person. Zakat, which is charitable giving.
All right. So zakat and inheritance has nothing to do with it. It's all here. The financial partnership, profit and loss.
It
Okay.
is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. And it means giving up 2.5% of money, gold, or harvest every year. And this is given to the poor and the needy.
All right. That's it. That's it. So now the whole housing came into this part, financial partnership. I'll go into Excel sheet. Give me a second. Now you guys have to work with me to understand what I'm going to show it to you. It's going to be a little different than you usually know how mortgage system works. This is what Islamic banking system is. For the ease, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 100 months term, not 120. 120 is what? 10 years. 30 years. So usually mortgage is for 30 years.
Yeah.
But I'm going to just use 10 months, so 100 months for the calculation ease, because I'm going to do the calculation at real time. And let's say the house price is 100,000. All right. And let's say you are doing it for 100 months. You are doing 100. All right. For the ease of calculation. So what you are going to say is that the total house portions will become 100,000 divided by 100. So $1,000 portion. So let me just zoom in for the people to see. My zoom is pretty bad for people.
That's
Cannot
good.
see on.
That's good, Adam. That's good.
All right. So now you're looking on a computer. Some people are looking on a phone. All right. Now, so I'm gonna say units. Units is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to take it all the way to 100. Okay, let's do all the way to 100. There you go. 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. All right, guys, I'm just doing the calculation right with you guys, so please bear with me. So these are the units. Now, if you buy 1 unit, how many will be remaining out of 100?
99.
99. So but we are not going to do 99. We are going to do maths here in an Excel manner so that we will be able to pull it down. And we have to do this so that this will be stabilized. All right. Now, we are going to go all the way to 100 in this one as well. And it will be 0 in the end. Perfect. Now, how does this happen? If each and every unit is 1,000, what will be the remaining price? It will be 99 minus total portion price. So it will be okay, why is it this? Oh. So no. What we have to do is it's not this one now. So 99. Okay, we'll do it. Okay, no, we'll do it differently. Let's do it because this will be in mind. So we'll do multiply by this price. That will be better. Okay. So now what you have is that if you have bought 1 unit, you still have to pay 990,000.
Sure.
So let's take this all the way to 0, and then you have 0.
It was 0. Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, because these people in California are working under the Fed's rate, so let's say the APR at that time, let's say it was 4%. All right. Now, as a normal person, A normal bank takes their share as 2%. So the total is 6%. But because this is Islamic bank, they have to do additional work. So they say we take an additional 1% on top of the rest of the banks.
Mhm.
So now the total is
Seven
total for Islamic is
mm,
7%.
sure.
All right. Now what they say is that you bought 1 unit. All right. You bought 1 unit. Let me just do this. Hold on. I have to insert. Insert. So let's do this. This will be easy. Unit remaining remaining price. All right. And then we will do. Let's calculate the rent. They say that you have purchased unit 1,000. You have purchased 1,000 unit, right?
Hmm.
You have 999. We are going to take rent on this price. All right. How will they take rent on this price? Because the rent has to be associated through the APR. APR is 4% because they cannot take less. This is
Sure.
what they're getting the money from the bank. Their share is 2% and additional this to total 7%. So what they say is that okay. So now what they have to do is they will do this divided by 12. That will be 1 month. Come on. That will be 1 month divided by 100. And then you will do multiply by this price. So you have to pay $577 and you have to pay 1,000 to buy 1 unit. So the total payment of this month will be this much. So now you do this all the way down here. What did I do wrong here? Something has to be dollar sign. Yes, this has to be dollar. Right
I
now,
was happy with that number, Adam. I said, man, that's awesome.
no, that's not awesome. You'll see it's not awesome. There you go. Now it is going perfect because every time 1 unit is being reduced, this remains the same. All right. And then this is going to be in a decreasing manner.
Sure.
This is what Islamic banking brings you. There you go. And then the sum will be the total money that you have to pay at the end is this much. 128,000, 129,000 to be precise. All right. To round figure. This is what you have to pay. It is the compound interest anyways. How do I know this is equal to compound interest? Let me show you. Let me take you the compound interest formula. Very easy formula. You know that. You should all know that. If you don't know that, I'm amazed that you don't know that. So what is the compound interest formula? The compound interest formula is equals to the total principal multiply by 1 plus interest, which is
Yep.
this guy divided by 12, which is the monthly interest, that decimal interest rate divided by 100.
Hmm.
But we have to put some brackets, otherwise it will not work properly. This divided by this divided by total number of times the interest is compounded per year, which is 12. Power, where's power? Power, the compounding per year, and I did 100, so 120. So let's do 10 years. Multiply by 10. And there you go. What just happened? Power 12 by, okay, because of this. G6. G6 divided by 12 divided by 12 divided by no, it will come like yeah, because it's going to be like this. Okay, why is it not working? So let me just Google it. So hold on, it will be, let me Google it for principal multiply by 1 plus the interest rate in decimal, which I made it in decimal, G6 divided by 100. It is in decimal now. So I was right over here for sure. So G6 divided by 100 divided by total number of months. All right. Months. Divided by 12 months, power 10 by 12. Why is it not doing that? Let's just do it this way. Yes, that's what it is coming. Anyhow, what is the total value here? Okay, 128. I don't know why this is calculating. Oh, shoot. That is why. This is the total. Okay. This minus this. Okay. Something is amiss. So 100 months. Okay. So this is what you are paying here, 128. Let's do the conventional calculation then. The conventional banking system does this. What does it do? It takes 100,000, all right. And how does the interest is calculated? Interest is calculated very simply as equals to this guy multiply by, and this will not be 0.7, but it will be 0.6. But for example, we'll take 0.7. So we will take this guy divided by 12. We'll take dollar here and dollar here so that this will be static. And divided by 100 months, that is 583. And if we do this, this is what we divide by 100, add another something out of it. So I will do maybe 800 here. So this will be total, this will be interest, this will be principal, and this will be total equals to this plus this. And so this will become here as total of this minus principal. And let's go all the way to 100 for hold on. Oops, This will be, let's take it all the way down here. 200. This is conventional. Now I'm doing conventional. Okay. Did I do plus instead of a minus? What did I do? Why is it increasing? Okay, it's
Supposed
not
to be.
increasing because there is nothing here. That is why. Because there is nothing here. That is why. And then we will bring this down as well. Then it will come. And we will bring this all the way down here. And then, yeah, it will going to change. Don't worry. Once I will change this, and I will do this. Okay, don't worry, relax. I'm going to change the middle part. So now if I am saying that my total is going to remain at 1290, okay, my total is going to remain at 1290 or 1380 or 1450, whatever. So what I'm saying is this is going to remain this always, and this is not going to be this, but rather it will be, we will have to do calculation here. It will be this. Okay, hold on. It will be this. No, it will be this minus this. Okay. And it will always remain this. There you go. Perfect. We are there. We are there. So we have to fix this. So I actually ended up being 1000. I moved to 800. So I need to maybe move to a little higher. The calculation to go into negative in the last line, 899. No, let's go forward. Maybe do 950. I'm doing a very rough calculation, guys. Please stay with me over here. Okay, how is this not calculating? We need to reduce this as well. Did I reduce this? No, and here I did. Principal reduction. Principal, no, see? Okay, it's going to be like this. Hold on. There we go. Now it is going in negative. Perfect. All right, so I did a very high. I was at 800 here. So let's do 850. I was negative on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Okay, 10 places. So 820. I was pretty close, guys. I was pretty close. Okay. Very, very close. Hold on. So minus is just here. All right. So very close, very close. 40. So now how does the conventional works? Conventional works very simple. Okay, I'm on the last line negative. So this is all good. So I'm there. All right. So how does the conventional work? Conventional works, you have 100,000 that you are taking. The interest on 100,000 is the total amount of the interest divided by 12 months, which is the 1 year interest, divided by 100, which will be the interest. So whatever you have paid interest on the full money, then you have paid some principal. The principal I calculated on 10 years, then I have to reduce some from 10 years because it's a compounding interest. You will forget that right now. So because of compounding, you have less a little. And you have so every month you will be paying a little more in principal, a little less in interest until you pay everything, and your monthly payment will remain the same.
Sure.
You see, it's the same. And then you will end up paying almost similar to what you will pay in Islamic system, almost give or take similar with maybe just a little bit of a difference. But how will you save money in conventional? I will show you how. That's separate. 133 versus 128. So you would be paying additional $4,000, $5,000 if you do conventional. But you will save money. Why? Because in conventional, you will not be paying 7%. Because that's the additional, because of Islamic system, you'll be paying 6%. So if we will change here, from G6 to F5, you will be actually making a lot of money. F5, you will be making a lot of money. There you go. So you will be saving some money because of 1% of change. 1% of change in 10 years is dramatic, is 30 years much more dramatic.
Sure.
But the problem with the Islamic system is here, what is going to happen? You are going to pay much more in the starting months. And as the months keep on going forward, you are paying less and less and less. You started with 1500, all right? You started with 1577, and then you are paying less and less and less and less and less and less. The basic rule of thumb is that today you make less money than what you can make 10 years later because of the inflation, everything. In Islamic banking, you'll be paying much more. Problem number one. Back in those days, this problem was there. How did they solve this problem? That's a separate thing for a little later. But what they said is profit and share, profit and loss. You just heard profit and loss. Why did the conventional banking system lack? That some people who has bought it on 400,000. So if I bought it at 100,000, let's talk about here. If I bought it at 100,000 here, and let's say 4 years down the road here, somewhere here, I'm still paying 1240 and I still owe 53,000. That's 4 years too low. Hold on. So let's do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's the difference here? Let's go all the way down. I'm sorry for the rough calculation. I'm just doing it on the fly with all of you guys here. So I'm sorry for all these mess up. All right. So what happens is after 24 months, 2 years later, 24 months, you still owe 82,000. But now the house price in 2009, because of the economic crash, is 56,000. You still owe more to the bank
Then the value of the house.
than you bought the house. What did they say in Islamic system? Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. They said the bank gave you 99,000. After 12 months, we will re-evaluate the house. After every 12 months, we will re-evaluate the house. So after 12 months, if the house price is down,
you're going to pay
we
more.
will recalculate the whole thing on the down price. How? Here, 88,000 is what you owe them. 88 is what you owe. Your portion is what? 12,000, right? Your portion is 12,000. Okay, sorry. I need to do this. Now, insert. I'm going to insert some rows. So guys, some of the formulas on the conventional banking will go down the drain. So please forgive me for that. So now you have paid 12,000. The total is what? 100,000. Right? What is the percentage of 88,000 and 12,000 of the house? Okay. What is the percentage? So 88,000 is 88%. Very simple maths, right? 12,000 is 12%. Now, if the house price here now today in the evaluation comes out to be 60,000, we will give you the portion of 12% that you have paid 72,000 because 12% is yours, and we will take the portion of the hit of, and now you don't owe us 88,000, you only owe us 52,000. Very good, brother. So far so good, right? Its
Sure.
Islamic banking system is very good right now. If the house price is down, it is very good. So the people who bought in 2008, they were very happy in 2009. All right. What happened in 2010, brother? What happened in 2010?
I don't know what happened in 2010. Things get better, I guess.
The things started to get better.
Yeah.
Now, here what happened is suddenly now they have paid another some thousand,
Sure.
and let's say they, or I'm going to take this calculation, okay? Just assume this is 2012. Suddenly the house prices of 60,000 became again 80,000. Now, based on this fact that you owe 12%, now your portion suddenly increased.
Sure.
Your portion suddenly increased. But their portion also increased by a hefty amount. What happened in further down the road? The 80,000 became 120,000. Your portion increased by your percentage, which is far less, and their portion increased much higher in value. And I'm just using the same calculation, but you can do other calculation, because everybody did not buy in 2008. They bought much later as well. So
Sure.
the money that you owe to them keep on increasing.
Sure.
Then the next year, that house became 200,000 house. The next year that house became, because now after 2010, the houses prices increased significantly in California region, and some of those regions have an appreciation of over 400%.
Sure.
Because of the economy
It
of
got-
different counties increase the houses. The same house that he bought is now 500,000 after some months, is after 4 years, it's 500,000. And now they still owe the bank 250,000, because that is what 50% is. Instead of 88%, I'm moving to 50%. And supposedly you have paid 250,000, even though that you have not paid 250,000, but you still have half of the portion of the house, and you still have to pay $250,000 to them. Whereas in conventional banking, this wasn't there.
It's
You
gone.
still owe 50%, which is 50,000, not 250,000. So this banking system destroyed the Muslims who took Islamic banking in 2008, 2009, 2010. And by that time in 2015, 16, when they saw that they still owe over 250,000 or more, when the house purchase price was just 100,000, they had to sell their properties and get out of this
It's a mess.
problem, because
mess.
they got messed up, because
Yeah.
it's profit and loss sharing. Then they created a new problem. They said, now we are not going to reevaluate this, and we are not going to do profit and loss sharing. When they actually did that, which is in 2014, 2015, or somewhere around that time, or maybe a little earlier, I don't know, just check this, forget these yearly statistics. They said, we are not going to reevaluate. So if you are not going to reevaluate, you are not sharing the profit and loss, hence it is equal to conventional banking, because you are still taking the interest. Then they said, people said, oh, I can't pay this much of a money, because house prices are not 100,000. House prices are now what? 500,000. Right? They said, I cannot pay $4,000 monthly. Now, even though that at the end of the year, I'll be paying $1,000 after just 10 years. And after 30 years, I'll be paying much less. So they said, okay, we're going to flatten it for you. Because we are flattening it for you, we are going to charge you this not at 7%, but a little more, 7.5%, because we are fixing you a little more. We are doing more work, even though that you owe us rent of 3,000, but to flatten the curve, we are going to take some rent from you, but not all of the rent from you. They are calling it rent on paper. So even though you owe us $3,000 in rent, we are going to charge you $1,500 in rent, and we are going to divide the rest of the 1,500 in the rest of the 99 months. And then the next month, we are going to take 1,400 and divide it into the rest of the 100 months. And in the next month, we are taking the 1,450 and so on and so forth. So they flattened it for people, charging them an additional 0.5%. And that is absolutely nuts, because you are actually just using the Islamic banking name and doing conventional banking, but calling it Islamic. This is how
Yeah,
stupid, idiotic Islamic
yeah.
banking system is.
Here's my question. Where in the world Islam have to do with that at all? Why you call it Islamic way or Islamic interest or Islamic finance? What does have to do with Allah, Muhammad, the Quran, and the Hadith? I mean,
Nothing.
are you just,
Nothing.
you think I'm just sitting here like a stupid? You're a good economist, by the way. You're doing a great job with these numbers. I could not have done that even if I would practice for a couple of years. Okay, but what Islam have to do with anything you have shared with me in the last half hour? Anything?
Brother, there is nothing Islamic in this. It is created by humans
Yeah.
to make the Muslims fool, so that they will not go to conventional banking, but their banking and their economy will increase, because in fact they are still using the APRs, they are still using the base APR, they are still using their share of APR, they are still calculating based on a value percentage value, just like interest, but they are calling it rent. They are calling it rent. It is not rent. They are calling it rent. And when you say flattening the rent, it is again, they are deceiving people, and they are charging interest on the rent again. The 0.5% that I increased here, it is actually the flattening for you charge. They say it's flattening for you. It is not flattening for you. It is the $1,500 here goes into the remaining principal, that gets divided again, goes into divided again, goes into divided again, goes into divided again, which comes out to be 0.5% interest, to say.
So
And they are doing the same BS that the conventional banking is doing.
so the new name for the word riba is the word rent, and they both start with the letter R.
Exactly. And I forgot the whole thing. Okay, I forgot it. I forgot it, but like it's just the same thing. It's
What
the
I'm
same thing.
saying is,
Based on the same PR, based on the calculation of the remaining price, everything is based on this.
I'm learning. I'm learning a lot, Adam. Seriously, I enjoyed that broadcast because hey, there's room for me to learn. So, mashallah, mashallah. Are the Muslims who started the Sharia finance or the banking, Islamic banking system in America, are they become like you, murtadeen? They left Islam and they become like the infidels of the capitalism people, or what's going on here?
There you go. Let me show you something else now.
Show me something, brother. I wanna see something else.
Thinking Muslim.
Muslims think.
Thinking Muslim.
No, this Muslim don't think, man. You're
No, no,
lying.
no. We have Thinking Muslim.
Yeah,
Listen to this.
yeah. I'm
Very
listening.
important podcast by a very important guy.
Thinking
You'll
Muslim.
you'll, you'll like it. I'm gonna make it regular speed. What happened?
Mashallah,
Hold on.
mashallah. He's
Okay,
shy.
enjoy this. Enjoy. This is Thinking Muslim, and very important podcast for the Muslims to watch and learn.
Based economy. Some have even presented it as an alternative to financial capitalism. The rationale behind these products is to accommodate the detailed Sharia rulings on trade, and Islamic scholars have endorsed products that Western financial institutes and governments have embraced. My guest today was an Islamic finance industry insider. Haris Irfan is currently
Haris Irfan, by the way, Kamila Haris. She's a Muslim. Her father is a Muslim. But anyhow, Haris Irfan. He is the guest who is an economist specialist in the Islamic economic banking.
Yeah.
the CEO of Cordoba Capital Markets. He has 29 years of investment banking and consulting experience. He was the former co-founder of Deutsche Bank's world-leading Islamic finance team and CEO of Deutsche's Islamic finance subsidiary. He is the former global head of Islamic finance at Barclays, then head of investment banking for the Russmiller Group. He's also the author of Heaven's Bankers, Inside the Hidden World of Islamic Finance, a critically acclaimed bestseller about the Islamic finance industry. Haris Irfan, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome to the Thinking Muslim.
Okay, just wanted to give you the credentials of this guy before I could tell you what he's saying about Islamic banking. So this guy is not a Tom, Dick, and Harry. He is not nobody like Adam Seeker, who is telling you what these things are, and then somebody comes up and say, Adam Seeker, who you are. Okay, this guy knows what he is going to say now. You have his credentials. That is why I showed you his credentials. I'm going to skip forward. By the way, this is the guy who actually worked for the Islamic banking of the clock tower in Makkah as well. So listen to that.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's great to have you with us. Now, Haris, I don't know if this is an exaggeration, but you're the man behind the Makkah clock tower. Why have you come to regret your part in financing the tower? Take me through.
Start is, why have you regret to take part in Islamic financing for the Makkah tower? All right, this is very important. This is very, very important. He is the person, and he's going to be humble himself. He's going to say, no, it's not me. I'm just part
Well,
of
that's
it.
a heck of an opening line. And the first thing I would say is that I'm not the man responsible for the Makkah clock tower. Unfortunately, I do have a part to play.
Okay, part to play. See, so he's humble. Now, let me go where what I want to tell you, talk to you, tell you about. It's going to be here. Let's do fractional banking. Let's start with fractional banking, and then we will go forward. So I'm gonna play 2 minutes part uninterruptedly. Then I will let you have it. Then I'll stop, and then I will play the next part.
No, he's an upstanding guy. He's a safe guy, and he's good for his word. So you can actually circulate this piece of paper in the economy as money, because it evidences that you actually own £5 of gold, or you can have it divisible. He can give you 5 pieces that say, I owe you £1.
Right.
Now, again, this is all very good, but at some point, the goldsmith says, wait a minute, this guy who's deposited money with me never comes back to redeem his gold. So I could actually issue more pieces of paper than I actually have deposits. Now he's created a fractional reserve. So the practice became that he would issue more receipts into the economy, and it was made legal. And eventually we saw institutions like Bank of England, which effectively codified this and institutionalized this process. So it was possible for a bank to maintain a reserve, but to issue more money than was actually stored in its vaults. And this is the origins of the fractional reserve system.
Okay, why this is very important, why I made you watch this, because this is fractional banking. What is fractional banking? All of the banking right now is fractional banking. And he gave a very good example of a goldsmith. Goldsmith whom you give gold, and based on what you give him gold, he will give you a paper saying, I owe you this much of a gold. Now, what is fractional banking? You give a bank 1,000, let's say dollars. The bank is going to have your 1,000. It is going to divide it by 10, which was the standard at least 10 years ago. I don't know what they are dividing right now. I don't know. And they're going to keep 100 in the bank, and they're going to lend
$900.
no 1,009 times. So they are going to lend $9,000. That is called fractional banking. What they are saying, banks, is that any money that you are putting in the bank, you are not going to get it really soon, really fast. That is why there is a difference between a checking account and a saving account. Once you have it in a CD, which is logged for 5 years, they know for a fact that you are not going to break it. And if you break it, you're going to have to pay penalties. There, the division is much higher. In a saving account where you might, the possibility is that you might get it sometime really soon, it is smaller. In a current account, it is much smaller, but because they have a lot of current accounts, so they are going to use that, okay, the circle of the money that we are having every month, we can still divide it by 10. The saving, they divided much higher. CD, they divided much higher. And that is where banking crisis comes into play, which in America is going to happen now very fast, very soon. That's a separate thing for an economy. This is called fractional banking. When you say Islamic banking, the fractional banking cannot be there, because money right now is digits on your phone. Money right now is digits on your computer screen. You do not use money other than digits. So you take the money from your company when you work for it, it goes in form of a digit in a bank. Bank lends it to somebody else in form of a digit. When you buy a house, it's on digits, it's on paper. You never bring a box filled with printed papers to somebody to buy the house. It is just digits. When this happens, fractional banking comes into play very importantly. Back in the old days, what happens is, when the countries accused America to print more dollars than the gold they have in the vault, it was the same thing. They said we had 20 tons of gold, let's say, and they printed money for 21 tons of gold or 22 tons of gold. Same thing that this guy is explaining. Now we are not backed up with gold standard. So we have fractional money. A bank is saying that he is lending $1 trillion, let's say, but he will only have in his bank $100 billion. So if everyone comes and wants his money back, the bank will go bankrupt. The recent example of this happened in California. One of the bankers said something to an Indian. I don't remember the story. And this is nationalism of Indians. I love their nationalism on that. They are beautiful people when it comes to nationalism. So all of the Indians who had money in their bank, and they were big giants, all of them said, give us the money. Give us all of our money. In a single week, Indians took back their money, which was over $14 billion or something like that. And bank did not even had that much money. So it had to borrow more, and the bank went bankrupted. That's a Californian bank, just like a year and a half ago, it happened with a bank in California. And this is what it is. This is how banks are in the capitalism world.
Sure.
But the problem is, this is the capitalist world. Now, if you are using the same capitalism, this goes against interest. So if this riba is there behind every single bank transaction of Islamic banking, then you are paying something that you don't even have. And if you are paying something that you don't even have, you have the APR system behind you, and you are borrowing money from somewhere else. So it means you are borrowing money from Fed. It means that you are paying APR. So hence you are actually paying riba. And that is why he says this.
Now, as long as the government found some way to regulate the amount of money that's in circulation, everybody believes this is all well and good. An increase of money supply in the economy means more credit creation, means more wealth creation, means more jobs, means more growth in the economy.
Yeah.
And we now have a situation where the controls are so loose that this financial economy has far outstripped the real economy. And every now and then there's a crash. Every now and then things get too impossible to control. And we have crashes like the 2007, 2008 crisis.
Yes.
And in such a case, you will see lines of people outside banks saying, no, something's gone wrong. I want my money back. In fact, we saw it very recently with Silicon Valley Bank, except the crash happened much faster this time because it was no longer about neighbors in the street saying to each other, hey, have you heard about our local bank and what's happening? We better run to the bank or catch the bus or whatever and get there and stand in a queue and redeem our money.
Yeah.
Now you get on your mobile phone app and you just say, boop, 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 I'll have my money back. Thank you very much.
Right.
So this is 2008, but that's separate. We have seen 2008 crash and everything. We studied that. Now what he's saying.
Because I heard a rumor on Reddit that it was about to crash.
Right.
Right. So now we have runs on a bank that can happen instantaneously. And this is a function of the fractional reserve system.
So this fractional reserve banking underpins all Islamic banking?
All banks, including Islamic.
Right.
There you go. See, that is why he said, I regretted doing that, because this fractional banking is underlying every single Islamic system. Even the Saudi Arabia Makkah Tower was built on interest with a different name, because it was done through the APR of the German APR, Barclays APR, whatever country he lives in. So they were borrowing money on an APR level to give it to forward in a fractional manner, and money wasn't even there.
So what does that then mean for the Islamic quality of these products? Like, what's your argument about the Islamic quality of, say, an Amana Finance mortgage?
Yeah. There was a time that I felt, and this is going back 20 years when I started the Islamic finance team at Deutsche Bank.
Yeah.
This is the Amana who did that back in 2008, what I showed you all in Kelly. This is what Amana did. Then they changed it.
That I felt that if you're a practicing Muslim and you're ideologically aligned with your faith and you wanted to invest in a way that didn't compromise your principles, and you wanted to offer financial products to other Muslims and to people who wanted to invest and participate in the economy in a halal way, in an ethical way, whether or not they were Muslim.
So this is ethical? Okay, check this
Halal,
out.
halal way, man. You put the
Halal
word
way,
halal
ethical
in it.
way.
Halal,
Halal
in it,
and ethical.
real halal. Okay.
Okay.
Possible to do that. And we actually
Okay, we skipped this very important part. We skipped this very important. Sorry, I'm gonna rewind it.
people who wanted to invest and participate in the economy in a halal way, in an ethical way, whether or not they were Muslim. I used to think it was possible to do that. And we actually had a bunch of banks.
I used to think that it was
Not
possible.
anymore. I repent to Allah.
Thank
Now I
you.
believe in
I
Allah.
used to think, yeah.
Bankers who were working at places like Deutsche Bank, who were young, practicing Muslims, technically capable, ideologically aligned, and they were creating some very interesting product. But we never really stepped back to think, actually, what is the fundamental basis on which we are manufacturing these products? Because it's all very well that we've mastered the elements of fiqh al-mu'amalat, the jurisprudence of transactions, of commercial and financial transactions. We can create these complex contractual structures that we call mudaraba, musharaka, murabaha. And
This is the rental and having your portion and their portion and all of that.
so on. And we have these contracts that we vetted by theologians for compliance with Sharia. And we say, yeah, this contract I'm using to finance the building of a house or financing the purchase of a home through a mortgage is Sharia compliant because the contracts are an ijara with a diminishing musharaka or some other combination. But we don't step back and think, hang on, what's the basis on which this bank is able to give money for the financing of this house? Basis is money creation through the fractional reserve system. So again, every time you deposit.
This guy exposed Islamic banking so much in all aspects. This is the fractional banking. Then he buying of a house. He shows the buying of a house. Then he shows the regulatory issue of APR, which is the regulatory issue that I've shown you that the base underlying is APR. This is the regulatory issue. Then the risk sharing part. He shows so much, but he doesn't give the calculation. I'm giving you the calculation as well. I'm going to send the link. I'm not going to play the whole thing. This is 1 hour 15 minutes podcast. If you want to know 10,000 issues in Islamic banking, this is the podcast. One single podcast. And like if I want, I can go into details of each and every aspect of it. But I think you got it. You got the gist of it. And then Islamic scholars are wrong. Check this out.
Haris, there are many scholars, Islamic scholars of high repute, who endorse these products, and some of them sit on the boards of these Islamic finance companies. Are you, in effect, saying that these Islamic scholars have all got it wrong?
I'm not saying that, because the vast majority of scholars in this industry that I've met and I know are
don't know jack about fractional system and
He,
APR system. They're
and
just looking at the words. He's gonna say that.
first of all highly competent individuals,
Okay.
and secondly individuals with a high degree of integrity. So I certainly wouldn't say that. What I would say is that they are captive to the system,
Right.
much like economists are, and perhaps in some cases they can't really see beyond that narrow focus that they have.
Right.
It's saying the same thing in a much sugar-coated manner. What do you want to say, Usama? Sorry.
well, I can't remember my thought, but I was gonna say he's holding the stick. I mean, he don't want to say this colors of Islam are lying or they are exaggerating in their talk, but I think I like that guy. I really like him, but I wish I can watch the entire video. So I have to get back to watch the entire video to see where is his heart is and what he's teaching here.
No, his heart is pure Islamic. He's just saying the banking system is stupid. And
Yeah,
he says that in today's part of the world, it's impossible to have any Islamic banking system. And you know, as a Muslim, I had a discussion with a few of my friends as well. And I actually said to them the same thing. And
yeah,
I explained it to them. Like I can't explain everything here because I have a very short time. With these friends, I spend like hours and hours and hours.
mhm.
The problem is that their last statement is, okay, we understand, but is there a better way? I said, dude, you are going for some words. The better way is go to conventional because it's cheaper, number one. It's easier to pay off earlier, and you are not being deceived. It is better to say you did a sin in Islam as a Muslim. It is better to say that I am doing a sin rather than trying to justify the sin. You know, this is Islamic. In Islam, justifying a sin is a bigger sin than doing a sin and saying that it's a sin and, oh, Allah forgive me for the sin.
Yeah. Where here's my question to you, Adam. Where Yusuf al-Qaradawi fit with that?
So, what is that? What is what?
Where Yusuf al-Qaradawi, Sheikh Yusuf al-Qaradawi, the man who used to collect
Mhm.
millions and millions of dollars from Sharia finance to the Muslim Brotherhood of Egypt. I mean, where, he's dead now, of course. We know he died.
Yes.
But where does he fit with this Sharia finance deal here?
Dude, you do realize that deceiving the Westerners is all allowed, and the APR system comes from the Westerners and the Yehuda Nasara, I mean the Jews and the Christians. So
Mhm.
deceiving them and getting that money and paying, you know, they all of these Islamic banks have to pay certain amount of money in so-called zakat because they are making money as well and they're saving money for
2.5%.
X amount of time, and they have
2.5%.
to pay it to those people, for example Hamas, for example ISIS, for
And,
example
and, and,
all
and
of these people.
yeah, yeah. I got a video. I don't know if we have time to play it or we cannot even get
Yes,
to
yes,
it.
let's play. We are already at 1 hour 44 minutes. Today is a longer live stream. Well, I doesn't matter. Play.
Let me see if I can connect it here.
In the meantime, while Usama does that, thank you guys for being here. Please share, and we have a super chat. Mishra, Atit Mishra ji, thank you so very much for super chat, or super sticker. Guys, please like, share. I hope you got a lot of information today, because obviously this information is not readily available everywhere. Even if you go into, like, you literally have to pay money to learn these kind of things, which I just shared, like, really fast. And you can obviously rewind and check it out and see the formulas that I have used. They're all there. The thing is, compound interest is one of the utmost stupidity. Yes, I know that. But somebody said something different. I think somebody said compound interest is is a marvel of the world if you know it. Who said that? What is the full form? Einstein said that. Einstein said it. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Compound interest is very simple. Because 90% of the people pay compound interest, that is why 10% of people earns it and becomes millionaire. This is how this is created. The problem is we don't even realize this. If you look at it in Pakistan or India or America or Canada or Australia or UK or any part of the world, you will see 90% of the people have their cars financed. So what is financing? It is compound interest. You are paying compound interest on cars. This is the utmost stupidity. By the way, I was stupid. I didn't understand compound interest. I was like a layman, like you guys, everyone, like most of the 80%, 90% people. Once you understand the compound interest and the problems with the compound interest, you will realize this is such stupidity. It was created to make other people wealthy. And this is what Einstein said. And by the way, Bible is very clear on this one. You know, three aspects of Bible you need to understand. While Usama searches for his video,
I have
I'm
the
gonna
video. I cannot make the screen smaller. Where I am with you, it is too big. I cannot go down to share. How can I change that?
press the window button on your keyboard.
The window on keyboard.
Control function, and then there will be a window type button. You will see the taskbar after that, and from the taskbar you select your browser.
Control and what?
No, not control. Don't press the control. There is a window button, a button which has a Windows logo on it. Click on that.
Mm-hmm.
Now you see the lower taskbar where you can select your Chrome.
Yes.
Okay, click on it. Now you can see the screen of the StreamYard, and then you can click on share.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can.
It's just what I see in my screen, you and I right now in it, we're actually huge. So I cannot see the bottom part of it.
So scroll it. Okay, click on the screen, press control, and then press minus, minus, minus.
Oh, I see.
Okay, thank God. See, I have to tell him everything. Sorry.
Man, oh man.
So someone said that a lot of information went far above my head. David, rewind it, play it slowly. I did the calculation on screen. It's very easy. It's very, very easy. It is literally very easy. So Bible talks about three things: earning, saving, investing, and then blessing everyone. Three different aspects of it. And then Bible says one thing very clearly: a debtor is the slave of the lender. A borrower, in simple word, is the slave of the lender. If you have lent some money, if you have borrowed some money, you are a borrower. You literally become slave of the lender, whether it is a bank or another human. Stay away from borrowing as much as possible. This is far better than anything else. But you know, in today's world, in today's culture, we just cannot buy a house. So people have to buy a house on interest. Why? Because otherwise you will be paying rent. So buying a house, I will say, okay, fair enough. If you have to buy a house, borrow money, because otherwise you are a slave of the one who is renting you the house anyways. But other than that, try to not borrow money. Proverbs 22:6. Train up the child according to his ways, even when he is old, he will not depart from it. If you read the proverb, you're going to learn what he's talking about. He who is slow to anger is great discriminant, but who is quick tempered raise up folly. The thoughts of the diligent leads surely to profit, but everyone who's hasty comes surely to poverty. Don't run for the money, but do it diligently. Do it diligently. Don't run for the money. Money will come for you if you keep working on hard working. And because if you run for the money to get rich quick schemes, you will surely go to poverty. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve gold and wealth altogether. So don't try to make wealth your God. Don't do that. It's a byproduct. Work and you will get it. And then it says, hope differs mask and heartsick, but desire fulfilled is a tree of life. Very important as well. A man lacking a heart of wisdom strikes his hand in pledge and becomes, oh, Usama left. Sorry, he'll be back. In the presence of his neighbor. Now there is a desirable treasure and oil in the abode of the wise, but a foolish man swallows it up. So once again, you have to keep save your treasure and oil. Don't be a foolish man to swallow everything up. Save or invest for your future. Don't buy a new car every year. The heart of a man plans his way, but Yahweh the God directs his steps. And Jesus said to him, the foxes have holes and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. He's talking about himself at that particular time. Now, we'll talk about saving. They will be delivered over to the power of the sword. They will be a portion of the foxes around. And Usama is back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
For the love of money is the root of all sorts of evil. So don't love the money. That's not what it says. And someone by aspiring it have wandered away from the faith and precised them in the grief. So love for money is making money God. So don't do that. Know well the conditions of your flocks and pay attention to the herd. But you always have to pay attention to your family, to make them livable and all of that. Owning nothing to anyone except to love one another, for he who loves his neighbor has fulfilled the laws. Very beautiful. Don't owe anything to anybody. Try to live a life where you don't owe. Reduce your desires and wants. Live on needs. But when you have enough, then go and fulfill your wants as well. That's not a problem. But you need to have enough before you try to fulfill your wants. So live on needs until you have enough. And all discipline for the moment seems not to be joyful, but sorrowful. But to those who have been trained by it, afterwards it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness. All of these biblical verses are very, a faithful man will abound with blessing, but he who makes haste to be rich will go unpunished. Will not go unpunished. So very important. Like, don't run behind money. Money will come to you if you keep on working and save for the future. And once you have money, you have to be fully charitable. You need to give charity. For whenever your treasure is there, there your heart will also be. Where there is no guidance, the people fall. But in abundance of counselor, there is salvation. Each one must do just as he proposed in his heart, not grudging or under compulsion. For God loves a cheerful giver. God loves a cheerful giver. If you give with happiness, give with cheerful heart. And do not be comforted to this world, but be transformed by renewing of your mind, so that you may approve what the will of the God is, that which good and pleasure and perfect. So Bible talks about making money, saving money, and giving money, and not borrowing money. Every time borrowing is mentioned in the Bible, it is mentioned in a negative aspect, never in a positive aspect. So be a good worker, be a good saver, be a good investor. Do not drink all of your oil.
Yeah.
Save some for future. Save, help your family, earn for your family, give them a good life. Don't be a miser. Don't be a greedy, but earn, save. And if you have more, you can give more. Remember, money is not the problem. You are a problem. If you are evil, once you have the money, you will be a bigger evil. If you are a good person, once you have the money, you will be a extremely good person. Money only increases your inner self tenfold. It does not, by essence it's not bad. It just increases your inner self tenfold. It enhances your inner self. It shows your inner self. That is what it is. Brother Sama, you are about to show us some
I have
video.
a hard time to get my screen to work right so I can share that video with you. But in any way, by the way, the Bible also tells us that we do not borrow money to people which we do not have ourselves. So, as a good advice, and you see this in the book of Proverbs and many other places in the Bible, that if Adam needs some money and I can go to my bank and I borrow money which I do not have in my bank to help brother Adam to buy a car, and then things did not work out, and now I do not have the money to pay to the bank, and now brother Adam does not have money to pay me, I'm in trouble. So if you want to give money, you have to give it with a cheerful heart, but also you don't give money you don't have.
Exactly.
That's
Because you
not
are
very
not
well.
borrowing money. Brother, which presentation the video is in?
Sharia, reveal the truth about Sharia. It is a video of the lady from the Wall Street about. I think he has that presentation. I can tell you the number of the slide.
Give me a second.
If you go to after the word Sharia finance, you
Just
see money
just
in
just
green.
give me a second, brother. Just
Take
give
your
me a
time.
sec.
Take your time.
Give me a
So
second. Give me
anyway,
the slide number.
it's slide 105, around 105, maybe a little bit close to it. After Sharia finance, Sharia is in red, finance is in green.
All right. I'll go there. Sharia finance. Hold on.
Before slide where we have Quran 9:41, perform jihad with your money and with your lives, because that is exactly what the Imam Yusuf al-Qaradawi is talking about. He is actually manipulating the Muslims by telling them, you give money towards Sharia finance, you invest money towards Sharia finance, you are actually performing jihad, which is the real bottom line. But the people of the West did not figure it out. The people who did not realize that Muslim put in their money in the Muslim banks and do businesses economically with a business with a Muslim system, and the Muslim banks are taking 2.5% of the profit to support jihad. Sadly, the West did not realize it, which is 100% illegal in the West.
All right. Unfortunately, I can't
You cannot
somehow
do it. Let me
play
try.
it.
I'm gonna go to present. That's right.
Yep. No, present and then share screen
Share screen.
and then go
And
to
then that new
entire.
one coming up is so big. It's so
You
big.
go to entire screen and then share it. Oh, you do control minus 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 so that it will be smaller for you.
When I do that, it does not do it.
Brother, I'm so sorry.
I know. I mean, it's a really good video, and I wish I can share it. If I say share screen, and I do not have, um, I mean, it's. I'm upset about it because it's really a good video, but oh well, maybe some other time. The point of it is very simple. Muslims came to the West and literally belittled the Muslim people as well. And they said, uh, we actually, what happened is they went to the banks. The Muslims went to the banks and said, we would like to invest our money, but we have to invest it in Sharia way, which means we cannot put it in any haram, forbidden things like lawful, unlawful drinking, gambling, unlawful meat. And then the bank says, sure, we will take your money and invest it for you. That's one of the early stages how Muslims start putting Sharia finance into the American banks. And sadly, lots of American businesses have accepted that, like Bank of America, Wachovia, City banks, anyway. And then they said, we would take 2.5% of the profit we make, and we have to give it as a charity. And I love how Muslims use the word charity. And they obviously start making money, gives the money to Yusuf al-Qaradawi, Imam Yusuf al-Qaradawi, who, by the way, could not, when he was alive, could not come to America physically. If he would have come here, he would be arrested, like he was in the wanted list by the CIA and the Homeland Security. But then he was collecting money from all these businesses until today. Coca-Cola, for example, are practicing Sharia finance, which means Coca-Cola must give back to the Muslim Brotherhood I do not know who's in charge right now after Yusuf Qaradawi's died. They gave him 2.5% of the profit simply because Coca-Cola is using Muslim money into their business to invest for the Muslims. And as after all that money is used, sadly, to perform jihad. Quran 9:41, march forth lightly or heavenly and perform jihad, that is with your money and your lives for the sake of Allah. This is the best for you if you were knowing. Sadly, until today, I know for sure lots of banks in America and the many businesses in America are using Sharia finance, not realizing what they're doing. These things are giving 2.5% of the profit to help the poor and the needy and education, blah blah blah. When in reality, that money is used by Hamas, Hezbollah, and Fatah, and all Muslim jihadi all over the world. That is what the video is about. But sadly, I could not play it.
I am sorry, Osama. I'm sorry to the guys in the live chat. Sorry, Osama sometimes is not
It's something
able to do.
wrong with my computer. Yeah, that's okay.
Uh, Yeah. Anyhow, thank you everyone. We have some super chats. Let's see that. Atif Nadeem, thank you so very much. Watching us from Australia, gave us a super sticker. Oh, EasyPay Global said, Hazrat Adam, I'm impressed with your finance acumen. Also, now you hit the nail, bro. Islamic banking is the most stupid financing in the world. Uh, it is
It's
it is
just a
actually.
title, Adam. It's just a word. There's nothing here, and there's nothing in the saying of Muhammad. Muhammad could not add two numbers in his Quran, right? So don't worry about
Yeah, he Muhammad, like, is finance and Muhammad is two different things, by the way. It's like entirely two different things. But EasyPay Global is here, so let me remind everyone
it. Sure.
who are watching us. EasyPay Global has this app. Uh, that does transfers of money from any part of the world to any part of the world. This is an iPhone app and it creates an account in dollars. Um, and you can definitely get that. 100 countries, easy transfer of money from wherever you are to wherever you want to in 100 different countries of the world. It's a digital wallet that you can create. Your money can be linked to your checking account, saving account, or whatever, and then you can send money to whichever account. Very easy. Support our supporters. He's supporting us. Support him if you want to send the money to anywhere in any part of the world. So this is EasyPay Global, and this is his app. If you haven't still downloaded, now is the time to download and make an account, and then you can send the money very easily. If you have any issue, EasyPay Global is always here. You can ask him. He can fix the stuff. He's probably the C-level person in this organization. Maybe he is the one who actually created it, if I'm not mistaken. It is his company. He is the CEO. So we are being watched by multiple very big people. Amit is asking, is it working in Russia? I don't know. EasyPay Global can answer that. I think it's more than 100 countries, and he's there here in the live chat. He'll be able to answer that. So we are being watched by many, many good people who has many industrial knowledge and everything. They are doing fantastic job in their area. But anyhow, what I'm saying is very simple. All of these Islamic systems are nothing more than deception and a lie to everyone. Full
Amen.
stop. Nothing more.
Amen.
Nothing more. And like, I will invite everyone who wants to, like, let me just say, any Muslim who wants to challenge me on that, the link is there. They can challenge me on whatever I have shown today or before. The link is there. Brother Sama, would you like to say something before I go into a little stranger topic?
No, actually, I learned a lot from you tonight for economy. I did not know you're a sharp guy with numbers. I thought I like numbers, but I learned a lot from you. And thank you for allowing me to be with you in this podcast. And I hope and I pray that we invest for our eternity more than our worry and our conscience about investing in this world. The Lord Jesus taught us very important fact that you put your investment in where thieves will not steal, and where what do you call this, bugs eat the wood, termite will not eat, and where rust will not, steel will be eaten by rust. That is our kingdom in heaven, the kingdom of The Lord is greater than anything. So we need to be wise how we spend our money and where, how much we borrow. Don't go over what you know for sure you cannot come, because you never know what tomorrow comes. But in the same time, invest in the kingdom of God and work in His. The best investment is to lead a lost person to Christ, because that is a win-win for eternity. So let this be our heart desire, to serve our Lord and to live right before Him and work hard, because the Bible tells us we learn from the ants who work all summer long for the winter, and when we have time to work, it's a daytime to work, and we make all the money we can, not because we love the money, but because we have the heart and desire to serve our Lord, and we follow the scripture, by the sweat of your faith you can eat your bread. Amen to that.
Amen. Thank you so very much, brother. Somebody is rejecting your point. You said that Muhammad didn't know numbers. He said, "Sorry to disagree, bro. Momo was good at slaves for weapons of financial better."
Trust me, I will show you the mathematic errors all over the Quran. You can't handle it. Another
But
topic, another night. Yeah.
but he did sold slaves for weapons. We know
Yes,
that.
yes. But I guarantee you, when he sold them, he lost money. He did not. He was not very smart. That's why he lost his wife business to start with.
He lost money even when he sold slaves for weapons.
Sure.
That's a good one.
He does not know. Listen, he was uneducated for real. When it comes to math, he was very uneducated.
Oh yes, his Quran is so bad in mathematics that not a single mathematical formula fits in the Quranic narrative. Like especially the inheritance formula is so bad, it's unbelievable. It's
How can you add a dollar? A dollar equal $1.20 or 96 cents. How, somehow, I don't know.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. We had a guy who I gave this. He was a mathematics teacher,
Yeah.
and he was a Muslim. And I was like, "You're a Muslim. He teaches maths." And I gave him the verses. I gave him the 4, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 4, 123. And I was like, "Okay, there you go. This is all inheritance in Islam. Now these are the people that are left behind. Now try to divide 100 rupees." And man, he came back next time, and he was making a good pretzel show. But eventually, he said, "Yes, the maths is bad here, really bad here."
It was a single error. Allah was busy. Allah was Jibril. I'm sorry, it was Jibril. It's not Allah. Jibril was busy and he was distracted, so he couldn't help it. It's okay. God's good.
Absolutely. By the way, tonight at 9:30 p.m. India Standard Time, we have live stream with Sahil, ex-Muslim Sahil. So hope to see all the Indian and Pakistanis there as well. And thank you everyone. Take care. I don't think we have anybody like who can have a debate with me about economics and finances with the Islamic Sharia economics. They can't, because Islam does not talks about economy. All of the videos on the internet are BS, bunch of crap. I just showed you 3. They are bunch of crap. They have no information about Islamic Sharia. The only Islamic Sharia financing in the Sharia manuals are such stupidity, it's unbelievable. And what they have created now in the capitalism or capitalist economic system is actually capitalist economic system. They just change the names in a different manner. They just literally change the names of it. And when they first came to California, they destroyed the people because they were like, we owed you 100,000 4 years ago. Now we still owe you $250,000 after 5 years. What are you telling me? It
But
is
it
so
sounds
crazy.
great when you have the word amana in it. Amana, like
Aman.
truthfulness and faithfulness, and we're not lying. We're not. Add the word halal to, oh my word, halal and amana make it a good banking system.
And Mudareba, add Mudareba. No interest. We are talking about Mudareba here.
Yeah,
And it's profit and loss sharing.
you know what was amazing, and I guarantee you, 90% of the Muslim in that bank do not speak Arabic and they do not know what these words actually mean. I guarantee it. But it has the word halal, mashallah, mashallah, halal amana, mudaraba.
Mudareba. And they actually created it. Acha, by the way, did you even try to search the word mudareba on the internet?
It's not gonna be in the Quran anywhere.
Oh, it's not in the Quran, but
Yeah.
obvious, brother, come on, how can it be in the Quran? If you search on the internet, the AI will tell you mudareba is an Islamic finance contract where a capital provider and a labor provider share profit from a business or investment.
See,
So
well,
how do they share? How do they share? The house price increase, their initial payment increase.
and Islam is evolving in America. MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
Look, check this out. Check this out. And guys, refer back to my Excel sheet where I showed you after 5 years what happens. But check this out. This is what mudaraba is. And they changed it. Now profit sharing in the house is not there anymore. Why? Because people were not getting it. They left it. Mudaraba is an Islamic financing contract with the capital provider and the labor provider share profits from a business investment. Capital provider, the Rabul Mal is the capital provider, also known as the silent partner, and labor provider. And this important thing: profit sharing. The parties agree on a ratio of sharing profit. This is the same thing. They said the house price increase, so my share, the one who's lending it, increased as well, and your share increased as well. So you paid me 40,000, but basically you paid me 200,000. So see, it increased, but my share increased 60% as well. So if you have to pay me 60,000, now you have to pay me 300,000 or 350,000. So initial investment of the house was
Yeah,
100,000.
yeah.
People went crazy because of that. They went broke. They had to sell the house. Literally, the only way to get out of the house lease was to sell it. They had to sell it, and then those people, including one of my friend, had to sell the house, take the down payment, which is portion of whatever, and refinance another house on the high price now from a normal conventional banking,
That's terrible.
because he would never be able to pay off the house ever, and his monthly rent was increasing because the capital payment was increasing. You
Mhm.
same thing. So the capital is, if the capital is 250,000
Yep.
per share, the interest remains 7%,
Yeah.
and initial payment is 1,000. Instead of 1,000, you have to still make the portions of the next 29 years. So it is not 1,000, it's now 2,000. And they were in such mess that they started with paying 2,500.
Mhm.
5 years later, they are paying 4,000 or 5,000. Yet their capital is not reducing but increasing, that they have to pay back. It
Yeah.
was crazy. It was a bunch of crazy. I did not even show you the calculation based on the monthly payments today in the Excel sheet,
Maybe,
because I had to do more calculation.
maybe your friend had some sin, man, in his life. If did he pray 5 times a day?
Anyone living in California would be praying 5 times a day.
Well, see, if he prayed 5 times a day and he fast the month of Ramadan and iftar with camel urine, everything will be fine. That's why he did not
But
live right before Allah.
but brother, you know what they played? They played the downfall of 2008 crash. Because it was crashing, they showed the people, hey, if it crashes, you'll save money if you come to us. But it's always a cycle.
Yeah.
You go in a crash, then you come out of the crash, it goes up for 10-15 years, and then you have another crash, and then it goes up for another 10 years, and then you have another crash. It's
That
a
is a,
standard
that
thing.
is a norm. Up and down. That's a norm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a norm.
Yeah. Nothing
So
unusual.
housing market is a norm, whether no matter which country you go into, America, Canada. Like Canada right now is on the top of its bubble in Toronto region and all these regions. It is going to crash. It's
Absolutely.
inevitable, and it's going to crash. It's
Matter
going
of
to
fact,
refix.
listen to this. If Trump did not come to power in 2 days, that's tomorrow after tomorrow, Tuesday night or Wednesday, America will have a big fall coming up. It's
I could not agree more with you on this.
you never know. It's in God's hand. It's in God's hand.
Oh, yeah,
All right.
brother, you are talking on a very smaller aspect of it.
Yeah.
I would say if he won't come, welcome the World War III. You should be ready to welcome World War III.
Yeah.
Inevitable.
Yeah.
Mark my words.
Yeah, I know. It's a fact.
All right. Thank
I-
you so much, everyone. God bless you all. Thanks a lot for being here. I know I took a long time today, but that's what it is. Brother Sama, last words, and then we will end.
Yeshua al-Akbar al-Azim.
Amen. Thank you so very much. Have a blessed day, evening, or night, wherever you are. I will see you this Thursday again. This time around 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. God bless you. Take care. Yeshua Akbarul Azim.
I mean.